Yo people, welcome and don't know it's the King Boss. Welcome back to RonsTechHub, and in this one I finally got my hands on the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. Let's jump into this one. Alright people, welcome. I had to move downstairs because there wasn't enough space in the room I was in. Down here I have a lot more space. I can do the unboxing for both these consoles at the same time. So hopefully it doesn't get too unwieldy. Alright, so here we have the Xbox Series X and here we have the PS5. As you can, that's the front and that's the front there. Size-wise, there's a massive difference in height in these boxes, right? So I would say that's about a 5-inch difference, I would say. I don't have exact measurements, I'm just going by eye. When I put them side by side like so, as you can see, the thickness isn't that much of a difference, but there is a difference. Now move them back this way. What else can I compare? Maybe compare the tallness. There we go. That's what it looks like there as well. So when I move this around, you can see how much. So there's about a 3-inch gap there, and about, I would say, still a 5-inch gap there. So quite a bit. Now, one good thing about the PS5 box, I would say, is that it has a nice handle. This thing is big and heavy, right? So moving this around was made very easy by the handle. The Xbox's box does not have a handle, so you do have to just carry it and hope it doesn't slip and fall. But I do prefer the box of this, and that's not because I'm an Xbox guy. That's just because it looks a lot more, it just looks neater to me. This just looks messy and big and unnecessarily so, right? But again, the Xbox Series X is a much smaller, more compact console, whereas this is just like boof, right? So yeah, let's jump to the unboxing now. Alright, so on the front of each box, I did want to go through that quickly. On here we have what the PS5 looks like. We have the controller here, the PS5 logo, Sony logo, the fact that it's actually 8K or 4K 120, and it does have HDR. The PS5 logo and sign here again. Not much on the PS5 box at the front. Whereas on the Xbox, we have, again, not much actually. I do really like the grill look of this Xbox thing here. We do have the sign there. We have it, that is, it's not a 1 terabyte drive. Well, it is a 1 terabyte drive, but you, the user, you don't get 1 terabyte. Now, Sony has been more upfront with this, and they've actually said somewhere on the box that you get, I think, 825 gigabytes. Now, here it is. So at the back of the Sony box, they actually tell you get 825 gigabytes, which is a lot closer to what you actually do get. I actually don't know the exact number you get with the Series X, but I'm going to make the assumption it's somewhere in the 800 range as well. Yeah, so same thing as on the PS5 box. We have 4K 120, 1 terabyte SSD. It doesn't say anything about HDR on the front, but we know this console has HDR. The specs are on this side as well, but I won't go through those because I think most people are, at this point in 2021 July, are fully acquainted with what's on both boxes and what both consoles can do. So this is actually going to be the unboxing section now. We're going to start with the PS5 just because. So I'm going to push this to the edge of the table. Hopefully it doesn't fall off. I'm going to start with this. So here we go. I'm gonna, the tape for the PS5 box already came loose. Just gonna lift. Oh yeah, with this one we actually have to take another box out of this. Okay. So here we go. That's the first one. So this was just to make that other box look prettier. So let me move that out of the way. So again, this is just the empty shell, just to protect the inner box, all right? So I'm gonna move that to one side. And here we have the actual PS5 box again. I'm gonna lay this flat. I think I do have to lay it flat. No, I don't. Lift this off. Here we go, lift that off. Do like so, do like so, do like so. Whew, here we go. All right, so I'm giving you an aerial view of what I'm seeing. So here we have a tiny finger hole thing. I'm gonna lift that out, and that's what we have inside the box. I'm gonna lift this out as well, actually. Let me take all of this. Show you guys what's in there. controller. Actually, let's have a quick look at this. Okay. So here we have Mr. Controller. Looking very sleek, very nice, very different to what the other controllers have looked like in the past. I do like this because it does look a lot like the Xbox and feel a lot like the Xbox controller, which I think in my opinion is an upgrade. So I'm going to put this to one side for now. Next we have the power plug. We know that's standard, right? So there's no power brick anymore. Everything is inside the console. That's just the power plug. I'm going to actually pull this out so I can have everything ready for when I need to plug in. Leave that there. What do we have here? Have a USB-C cable for the controller, but I'm not going to be using this simply because I have so many USB cables already. I'm just going to leave this in the box for now. What do I have over here? Booklets, and we have the stand and the HDMI cable. Okay, so let me grab these. I'm going to leave the booklets here again. I'm not going to read a single instruction. Let's look at the stand quickly. That's what the stand looks like. I do wish that this was made of something that felt more sturdy. It is hard plastic, so I do think it will be fine, but I just wish it had more rigidness or sturdiness to it. I'm going to put this to one side as well. I'm going to put this back where I got it from. And lastly, we have the HDMI cable. So I am going to use this original HDMI cable, as this is an HDMI 2.1, which will give me 4K at 120. However, my TV is not 4K yet, but let me just use the cable that came with the box. All right, put that down. Put this down and move this to one side. Put everything back exactly where it was, because I'm the type of person, at the end of a console generation, I like to sell my consoles fully boxed with all the original accessories and everything. So the Xbox Series X I have now, sorry, Xbox One X I have now, I'm actually going to sell that with all the original accessories I got with that console back in 2018, 2019, I would say. Okay, so next we have the big bad boy. We have the PS5 down there. Hopefully you guys can see that. Yeah, so I guess we just lift this out. How do we lift this out? Do we just... Okay. I'm going to flip the box over. Try and make it a bit easier on myself. Don't do this at home, kids. Alright, so there we go. Put that box to one side. And here we have the beast, which is the PS5. Sorry guys, the box just fell on me again. Yeah, so here we have it. I'm gonna pull this out. Gently lay this down on the table. Pull this out as well. And we have our PS5 all wrapped up. Okay, here we go. I'm not going to lay this flat on the table because I don't want it to get scratched or scratch the table. We all know the ports at the back already. USB 3, USB 3, 1 gigabit Ethernet, HDMI 2.1, power socket, Kensington lock I believe, but I will double check that, I don't actually remember. On the front, we have the activity LEDs. We have another USB port and a USB-C port. So I actually could charge the controller directly from the console. So that's an option there. I could just plug the USB cable in here and charge directly from the console, okay? So again, let's have a quick recap of everything we have for PlayStation, right? So new controller, stand, power plug, and HDMI. Here we go. I'm going to move all of this to one side, push it to the one side of the table, and move over to Xbox, all right? Be right back. All right, so now it's time for the Xbox. All right, so where do I start with this? I don't see any tape on this side. Don't see any tape on here. Okay. Where is the tape? Just bear with me 1 second while I discover the tape. Okay, here we have it at the back. So JJ is telling me that this is the back and not the front. I disagree. I think wherever Master Chief is, that's the front. But he's saying, no, that's the front because it doesn't have the small text down there. So this, I'm assuming it's different languages, right? All right, so we have tape on both these sides. I'm guessing I'm gonna have to cut both of them. So let me just do that now. Always try to cut away from yourself, guys. Now, if this was JJ, he would cut this way, right? Is that the way you would cut?
No.
What way would you cut?
Downwards.
Downwards. All right, fair enough, fair enough. All right, so that's that cut there. That's that cut there. Did I need to cut both of them? I actually don't know. There's more tape somewhere else. Oh no.
I think you slide it up.
Oh, there's more tape here actually. So again, at the back, just below the writing, there's some more tape. So you cut that.
Yeah, that's definitely not the front.
Fair enough. I might agree with you. I don't know yet. Okay, I actually don't know how to take this. Oh, you just fold it out? What? How does this work? Microsoft, what did you do? Okay. See, I feel like I should be doing this, but then I can see the console falling. I don't know how to do this, guys.
Flip it on the other side and try and do that same thing.
There's nothing there though.
No, lift it up from there.
But look. That doesn't look right. Does that look right?
That's how you lift it. That's how
Okay,
Hypers.
fair enough.
That's how Hypers did it.
Mr. JJ said I should do it this way, so I'm going to listen to him. So
That's why that is the front.
this is the front. All right, fair enough, fair enough. So after you cut all your tape, you put it on its back, according to JJ, and you lift both sides like this, and you're revealed with your console. Now this, let me just say straight away, Microsoft, well done. This design, this is so small, it's crazy. This is actually crazy, but all right, let's jump into this one. Okay, so we have a sticker here. Let me just pull the console up because that's the first thing we're greeted with is actually the console. So let me pull this out. Wow. That's it. That's the console out. Okay. I'm guessing that's the way it should go.
That's a gift wrap. You can see it's better gift wrap than like the
Yeah,
other
it
side.
does have a gift wrap, yeah. Okay, here they've given us instructions that I am definitely not going to read, so let me put that away. Where are all the cables and stuff? I don't see any cables.
I think they're in a box.
Ah, here we go. This is nice. This is really nice. I like this. It was kind of like a mystery to unbox because I didn't know which way to turn it. And then on top of that, it's this really tiny, neat box. And to get to your controller, I'm guessing, and all the other stuff, there's a tiny box here. So I'm going to pull that box out. That's it. I'm going to move this Xbox box to one side. Move it over here.
Oh, that's a quick unboxing experience.
And alright, so here we have a much more compact box experience, I guess. Here we have the controller like we did before. So I'm going to remove this from the packaging to show you guys what this looks like. I'm going to cut this tape because I don't want to damage the bag too much. As I said, I like to give my consoles at the end of their generation, I like to sell them with everything fully intact. So nothing has changed much about the Xbox controller. It just looks a lot neater to me, right? There we go. Have some fluff there. All right, very neat. It looks and feels a lot smaller than the previous stuff I've used actually. So let me leave that there, as well as put this next to it. I think someone's copied someone, guys. Who's copied who? These look very similar. The only difference I can see here are the thumbsticks.
I think Xbox copied Sony, to be honest.
No, how could you say that?
Because I feel like Xbox never used to have this triangular design. That was always a PlayStation thing.
I thought the PlayStation had a shorter, whatever that is, I guess, hand
It
grip.
did, and that's what the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 had, and the PS3, and the PS4, I think even. And now I feel like Xbox has kind of made this similar to how the PS4 was.
I disagree. I think Xbox always had this, but they've made it a lot smaller, whereas PS looked very differently before and they've come closer to Xbox. I think what Xbox did copy was making the controller smaller, because this is definitely smaller than what I've used in the past. Smaller than 360 controllers, in my opinion. It might not be, but just by holding it, it feels smaller. But hey, all right, so that's the controller there. Again, we have HDMI 2.1 cable. Hopefully you guys can see that clearly. Again, I'm gonna take this out the paper.
Question, it says it's on the screen it says 8K, but you have a 4K 120. So how would you play 8K games out of a HDMI cable like that?
Because you wouldn't be able to do 8K at 120, so you probably do 8K at 30. So the HD, that's a good question actually. So the 8K features would be limited on the HDMI cable because HDMI can only transfer so much data at once. So let's just say 4K, for argument's sake, let's say 4K 120 transfers 1 gigabyte per second, right? And 8K 30 transfers 1 gigabyte per second. So you will have the option to jump between 8K 30 and 4K 60, but you won't be able to do 8K 60.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's just the amount of data that the HDMI cable can transfer at any one time. So I'm going to leave the HDMI there. I have the power plug as well. They look very similar actually. I think this is where Xbox did copy Sony, because Xbox always had that massive brick. Do you remember back in the 360 days? And
the Xbox One had a massive brick as well.
Exactly, the original Xbox One had a massive brick. So I'm going to pull that apart. Instructions are here, which I am definitely not going to read. Pull this apart. Leave that there. And is there anything else in here? I don't think so. They didn't even give me 1 month worth of Game Pass or anything. There's just nothing in. Actually, there's another thing here. There's nothing in there. There's no 1 month trial of anything, but fair enough.
Did PS5 give you anything?
I don't know actually. I need to double check. So with the Xbox, we do get we do get AA batteries, but I'm not going to be using these. I have a portable, a rechargeable battery from my Xbox One controller. So I'm going to pop the back off and see if that actually fits. If it fits, perfect. If it doesn't, I might have to get myself another pack. Alright, so I went and I grabbed my battery pack here. Unfortunately, this does use micro USB, so I'm going to have to still have one of those cables around. I'm going to pop the back off the Xbox Series X controller. Doing so. And I'm going to try and fit this. Please work. Please work. Please work. I don't think it will. No, it's the opposite way around. Is it? Alright, well, since that didn't work, I guess I am going to have to go and buy an Xbox Series X battery pack. Close that, put that there. Move these boxes. Alright, so we have this piece of paper around it, and let's see if we have any 1 month Game Pass. Nope, nothing, just paper, guys, just paper. Wonderful. Alright, then we have this nicely wrapped Series X. So let's pull this off. Let's try and be as neat as we can. Okay, there we go. Oh, this is the top, nice. There we have it. We have this massive fan, which looks like a 120mm fan at the top. And we have the Series X. I'm going to pull this out. Alright guys, so here we have the Xbox Series X. This looks nothing like a console. Let me be fairly honest. But I do like it. It's very different. And it is a box indeed. Alright, so the back of this, just like on the PS5, we have USB 3 ports here and here. We have a we have a 1 gigabit Ethernet port here. We have HDMI, we have power, and this is where your 1 terabyte external drive is going to go. Now, Microsoft is trying to sell this drive for £230, I believe. That's a lot. That's a lot of money. I mean, I'm not going to buy one. I will have to just manage the 1 terabyte or the 800 gigabytes I do have.
Actually, it's dropped down to £219.
That's still a lot of money, yo. Come on. That's a whole heap of money, Bridget. But yeah.
2 terabytes for £270.
That's too much. That's more expensive than the Series S. So I can buy another console for the price of storage. That's too much, Reggie. Come on. But yeah, that's what the Series X looks like. I like this design. I wouldn't say I love it. It looks very clean is the word I would use. It's so simple. It just, I think this will fit into any living room setting. Now behind me, you can see this is my front room. This is a TV. We have the skybox. This would fit so nicely on that shelf, whereas a PS5 will stick out like a sore thumb. Right, so yes, both consoles are here. Impressions. I do like the fact that the PS5 has a lot of cooling, right? There are vents all over the back of this thing. That's an upside because we know what consoles are like. They do tend to overheat. I do like the fact that the Xbox looks amazing, guys. Look at this. So simple. Size-wise, come on. So we could have done better than this. But here we are. What do I like about both of them now? I prefer to lay my console like this. So I do like that Sony did that. I prefer to have a nice simple black box. I actually don't like the shape of the PS5, this whole wavy thing. I guess it makes sense for them because that's what they've always done. So you know when you turn the PS4 on, right, and it has that wavy thing, right? Yeah. I'm assuming it's the same for the PS5. So it's meant to
resemble the console look.
Exactly, the console user interface. Now you can take these panels off. I'm not going to show that in this video. They are easy to use. You can just pop them off and they come straight off. I'm not going to show that here. This was just going to be the unboxing and my impressions. My impressions are good, not so good, feels very cheap. It is hard plastic, feels very cheap, but I am really waiting forward to actually trying out this controller fully because this actually feels really good compared to what the PS4 controller was. This, unfortunately and fortunately for some of us, nothing has changed. So this feels a lot like my One X controller. There's not much more I'd have to learn, to be honest. I picked this up and jumped straight back in. I do like the fact that Sony has the touch bar area there. So Sony has a touch bar area where you can actually interact with some games. I do like the fact that Sony has a microphone built into their controller. So worst case, you might want to speak to a friend quickly. You don't want to have your headphones plugged in because this also has a speaker. So this doubles as a microphone and a speaker, which is an amazing feature. I think Microsoft could have and should have done something like that, simply because it's nice to not have to plug stuff in and have cables and have a headset in. If you're just doing a quick chat with someone, this is much better, right? I don't like the fact that they didn't include, I don't know, a £5 rechargeable pack in the Xbox's controller. I do like the fact that this comes with the rechargeable pack built in. However, if and when something does happen, if you don't know how to open electronics and change stuff around, you're going to just have to buy a brand new controller. Now, for many people, this isn't really an issue, but for £60 for a new controller, for me, that's an issue. All right. What else do I have? Let's see. JJ, what are your thoughts?
I think the Xbox, again, is cleaner. I personally prefer the look of the PS5 because it's a cleaner look. It actually looks it looks more futuristic, where the Xbox kind of looks like the meme. It does look like a big fridge. It kind of looks like something you see on an office shelf.
Yeah, true.
Like you see that more in just there, and probably like a storage, something that you can open it up and put stuff in. PS5, could they have done better with the size? Because we're supposed to go into a system where things are smaller. So, I feel like you got more with the PS5 than you do with the Xbox, but that's just what I'm seeing. Like it's giving you something to place it on its side, something for you to stand it vertically.
Actually, before you go any further, this has a thing to stand it on its side as well.
Oh, it does.
It has rubber feet. I didn't mention that actually. Good point. So it does have rubber feet on the side here, so you can do this with it, and I guess that looks okay. But the way the PS5 is built, I agree with you. It looks like it was made to go on its side like this.
Yeah.
Whereas this, they're like, oh, we can put it on its side as well, and they just stuck some feet on the other side. That's it. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
But when it's standing up, I do like how it looks when it's standing up like this, to be honest. So, yeah.
I mean, if you want something low key, I feel like the Xbox is very fingerprinty though.
You think so?
Yeah, because you already got prints on the front that I can
really?
see.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
And because it's black, it will stand out more than the PS5. But the PS5 being white, it will
the dust will show up.
Dust and dirt will show up to you. Either fingerprint or dust and dirt.
Alright, fair enough. Well, that's it, guys. I might show you guys me setting the console up. I haven't decided fully yet because those videos are everywhere, but this is something I was doing anyway, and I thought, let me just show everyone what I'm doing. Hopefully you guys like it. Please do like, share, subscribe, comment, do the whole thing. Anything you guys want to see me do, please go ahead and let me know. I will try my best to screen record what's happening and show you guys how to do things if necessary. But yeah, both consoles here. I'm going to enjoy some God of War, some Uncharted. Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
And here, when Halo does eventually come out, I'm going to get to play it in its highest fidelity on console.
So you just mentioned 3 to 4 games on the PS5 and you're looking forward to one game on the Xbox, people. One game that he's probably going to play in the next 3 years. By the time he buys that game, the Xbox there'll be a slim version of that Xbox.
No comment?
What about Fable?
Yeah, if Fable comes out, obviously Fable as well.
Oh,
Forza is going to be played as well.
Oh no.
Most of the Bethesda games I do like. So when Bethesda actually releases, let's say Doom 3 or whatever they call it, when they release Skyrim, when they release Wolfenstein, when they release Fallout, I'll have all those games as well.
So Xbox is for people that want to play games in the future. PS5 is for people that want to play games now.
Yeah, more or less. Well, alright people, peace, blessed love, and thank you for tuning in.